Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back to Cowboys Wire News, where we break down every twist, turn, and development surrounding America's team. Today, we're diving headfirst into the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys, exploring the roster moves, injury reports, and player performances that could shape the upcoming games, starting with the offensive line. There's been considerable attention on the left tackle position. Tyler Gayton has been a cornerstone of the line this season, and his recent high ankle sprain has created some uncertainty. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer has not fully ruled him out for future matchups, but realistically, his return in the immediate weeks seems unlikely during recent practices. Gayton has been moving around and showing signs of progress, but recovery from a high ankle sprain can be unpredictable. Most estimates suggest a minimum of 2 weeks off the field, though a return in 3 or 4 weeks wouldn't be shocking over the course of the season. He has shown consistent improvement despite occasional penalties and minor setbacks, and his presence is crucial for the Cowboys' offensive stability when healthy. Gayton provides a dependable, starting-level presence, but keeping him on the field will be vital as the season progresses. Meanwhile, Nate Thomas has been stepping into the tackle spots with increasing confidence. He has seen action at both left and right tackle, and in the matchup against the Chiefs, his comfort and poise were evident. Thomas is still developing, particularly when it comes to run blocking compared to veterans like Gayton and Terrence Steele. But his growth cannot be overlooked. The upcoming game against the Detroit Lions will present a new set of challenges, as Detroit's defensive schemes have been unpredictable, often moving Aiden Hutchinson around the front to create one-on-one matchups. Thomas seems better suited for left tackle, and the coaching staff is likely considering this as they plan for both immediate games and long-term offensive line structure. Fans are starting to form opinions on who should hold the left tackle spot permanently, and Thomas is earning serious consideration as he matures in this role. Shifting to the defensive side, the Cowboys are facing concerns with their edge rushers. Jadeveon Clowney, who was already recovering from a neck injury, has now encountered a hamstring issue recently. He was the only player not fully participating in practice, which raises questions about his availability against Detroit. Clowney's presence is pivotal for the Cowboys' edge rotation alongside Ezra, and without him, additional pressure falls on players like Dante Fowler, James Houston, and Sam Williams. Monitoring his condition throughout the week will be critical, as any absence could affect the team's ability to contain the run, especially considering how much Detroit relies on their ground game under Dan Campbell. Clowney's injury status will be a key storyline leading into the game, and fans should keep an eye on practice updates. The running back room has been evolving as well. Jaden Blue, the young 5th-round pick, is seeing fewer opportunities as Malik Davis emerges and new roster additions like Israel Banana join the mix. Blue has undeniable talent and potential, but consistency has been a challenge, and the coaching staff's patience seems to be measured against immediate results. Davis, on the other hand, has seized his chances, producing meaningful plays and maintaining a steady presence when carrying the ball. For Blue, it appears the remainder of the season may require further development before he can become a regular contributor in high-stakes moments. This dynamic highlights the competitive nature of the roster, where opportunity and performance are constantly intertwined. Off the field, trade talks have also grabbed attention, particularly regarding Micah Parsons and Quinton Williams. While public commentary suggested potential player-for-player trades, the reality involved discussions with the Jets that would have included draft picks returning to Dallas rather than a straight swap. The Jets ultimately declined, emphasizing the complexities behind roster management and how teams evaluate talent while balancing short-term needs against long-term strategy. This gives fans a glimpse into the behind-the-scenes decision-making that affects not just the current season, but the trajectory of the team over multiple years. Returning to the offensive line, the combination of Gayton's injury and Thomas' development creates an intriguing scenario. Gayton has shown flashes of excellence, but has been hampered by injuries, while Thomas' progress provides a reliable backup option at left tackle. This flexibility allows the coaching staff to make strategic adjustments depending on health and matchups. With the Lions looming, these decisions take on added significance, as both player readiness and tactical deployment will be tested against a physical, creative opponent. The balance between talent, continuity, and durability has been a recurring theme for the Cowboys, and managing it effectively is central to their approach each week. Analyzing Thomas' performance metrics between left and right tackle reveals his growth trajectory, while he faces some struggles on the right. His left tackle contributions have been steady, reflecting his potential as a long-term starter. The offensive line's overall efficiency plays a critical role in protecting the quarterback and establishing the run game, and any incremental improvement can make a substantial difference. With Gayton on the mend and Thomas gaining game experience, the line is entering a phase that is both delicate and promising, demanding careful management by the coaching staff. On defense, Clowney's hamstring injury underscores the challenges of maintaining consistency when key players are sidelined. The edge rotation is essential for defending both the run and the pass, and his absence would increase the workload on Fowler, Houston, Williams, and Ezra. These players will need to step up, and how they respond could influence the team's ability to contain powerful rushing attacks, particularly from a team like Detroit that emphasizes physicality at the line of scrimmage. Keeping track of these developments is critical for understanding how the Cowboys will adjust their strategy week to week in the running back room. The contrast between Blue and Davis highlights the importance of execution and opportunity. Blue has talent but struggles with consistency, while Davis has been capitalizing on his moments, solidifying his role. Both players are at different stages of development, and how the coaching staff utilizes them over the remaining games will reveal insights into roster depth, situational strategy, and long-term planning. These decisions are not just about the present season. They influence the overall trajectory of the Cowboys' offensive production and player growth in the future. As the season progresses, depth and adaptability remain central themes. On defense, players like Sam Williams and James Houston have stepped into larger roles in response to Clowney's hamstring situation. Williams has displayed penetration ability and versatility, while Houston continues to develop as a reliable edge presence. The coaching staff faces the ongoing challenge of balancing rotations to maintain freshness and minimize injury risk, particularly against run-heavy teams like Detroit. The Lions' offensive line is aggressive and creative, which means individual matchups, communication, and coordination across the defensive front will be critical for the offensive line. Gayton's recovery will impact both protection schemes and run-blocking effectiveness. Meanwhile, Thomas' progression provides options that the coaching staff can leverage for matchups or injury contingencies. The interplay between experience, talent, and strategy here is critical for the team's performance. Defensive uncertainties, like Clowney's hamstring, highlight the reliance on younger players stepping into critical roles, affecting both pre-snap decisions and in-game adjustments. How these players respond under pressure provides insight into the Cowboys' depth, resilience, and potential moving forward. Looking at the running back situation, Davis' consistent performance and Blue's development create a competitive but strategic environment. The coaching staff must balance development with immediate performance needs, particularly in high-pressure moments. This ongoing balancing act affects not only single games, but also long-term roster planning and player readiness for future seasons. Every snap, every carry, and every defensive assignment contributes to the overall picture, emphasizing the weight of in-game execution and roster management. Ultimately, following the Cowboys this season illustrates the interconnected nature of roster management, player development, and injury monitoring. Offensive line rotations, edge rusher deployment, and running back usage all reflect careful strategic planning, and each adjustment has ripple effects across the team. Gayton's progression, Thomas' growth, Clowney's health, and the hierarchy in the running back room collectively shape the weekly approach, demonstrating how individual performance and team strategy intertwine. Every decision, from personnel changes to strategic deployment, influences not just the immediate outcomes, but also the future direction of the franchise. Depth, adaptability, and preparation remain central to sustaining success, and watching the Cowboys navigate these challenges provides a compelling narrative for fans invested in the team's journey. On the offensive line, the interplay between Tyler Gayton and Nate Thomas remains central to the Cowboys' immediate plans. Gayton's steady improvement has been encouraging, yet injuries have interrupted his continuity, forcing the coaching staff to rely on Thomas' development at left tackle. Thomas has shown flashes of impressive play, adjusting to high-pressure situations and demonstrating poise against some of the league's top pass rushers. His ability to adapt on the fly has allowed the coaching staff to maintain stability on the offensive front, even in the absence of a fully healthy Gayton. The ongoing development of Thomas is particularly critical given the complexity of upcoming matchups and the physical demands of the remaining schedule. Meanwhile, the defensive edge continues to draw attention, especially with Jadeveon Clowney's hamstring injury. His potential absence places additional responsibilities on Dante Fowler, James Houston, Sam Williams, and Ezra, who must step into heavier roles to maintain pressure and contain the run. Clowney's situation has created a ripple effect throughout the defense, forcing coaches to evaluate rotation strategies, pre-snap alignments, and situational substitutions with even greater precision. The Lions' offensive schemes, which frequently shift defensive threats and overload certain areas, will test the Cowboys' communication and discipline. Edge defenders must not only maintain physical readiness but also understand the timing and spacing required to disrupt plays effectively. These adjustments underscore the importance of depth and versatility across the defensive line, highlighting how individual preparedness can directly influence team-wide performance. The running back room continues to evolve as a storyline worth tracking closely. Jaden Blue's opportunities are limited, especially as Malik Davis capitalizes on his chances and proves to be a reliable weapon for the offense. Blue's development is ongoing, and while his potential is undeniable, consistency has been a challenge this season. The competition between these two young backs is an example of how performance, preparation, and opportunity converge in shaping a player's role. Blue's trajectory will depend on his ability to translate talent into tangible contributions, while Davis' continued success reinforces the coaching staff's confidence in immediate productivity. This internal competition not only affects individual players, but also impacts overall offensive strategy, as the team must balance player development with game-to-game results off the field. Discussions about Micah Parsons and Quinton Williams have revealed the complexities inherent in roster management. Trade talks often involve layers of negotiation, including draft picks, positional value, and future potential. Rather than simple player-for-player exchanges, the Jets' decision to decline the proposed trade highlights how carefully teams evaluate the worth of elite talent for fans. These behind-the-scenes maneuvers provide insight into the Cowboys' strategic priorities and long-term planning philosophy. Understanding the rationale behind each decision helps contextualize on-field developments, injuries, and depth chart adjustments, showing how the front office actively shapes the trajectory of the team beyond Sunday matchups. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. Whispers are rippling through the NFL world after a startling confession from Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. In a rare and candid moment, Jones reportedly admitted, "I regret signing this player." For the Cowboys, the remark has ignited a firestorm of speculation among fans, analysts, and sports insiders alike. Sources close to the team suggest that the comment was made during a private conversation that somehow found its way into the public domain, sending shockwaves through a fanbase that usually reveres every move by the team's owner. Immediately, social media erupted. Fans dissected every possible meaning, trying to decode whether Jones' remark was aimed at a struggling veteran, a highly paid free agent, or a recent draft pick who hasn't quite lived up to expectations. Pundits have begun connecting dots, looking at recent performances, missed plays, and off-field controversies, suggesting multiple candidates could be the subject of Jones' regret. The Cowboys, known for their high-profile acquisitions and willingness to spend big, are suddenly under scrutiny. Analysts speculate that this admission could influence team dynamics, affect locker room morale, or even alter trade and contract decisions in the near future. Industry insiders hint that Jones' comment might not just be about on-field performance. Rumors swirl that there could be deeper issues, personality clashes, locker room tensions, or even off-field behavior that has frustrated management. The media frenzy continues to grow, with every sports network and online forum dissecting the implications of such a rare statement. Cowboys fans are left in a mix of disbelief and curiosity. Who is the player that has earned this unusual rebuke? Some suggest it could mark the beginning of a bigger shakeup within the roster, while others argue it's simply a fleeting expression of frustration from a famously passionate owner. Regardless of the truth, the buzz is undeniable. The Cowboys front office has not issued any formal statement clarifying Jones' remark, leaving the rumor mill free to speculate. Meanwhile, social media hashtags are trending, memes are circulating, and every sports podcast is analyzing the potential fallout in a league driven by headlines, trades, and star power. This single admission from Jones has the potential to dominate conversation for weeks. One thing is certain: the identity of the player and the full story behind Jones' surprising statement has become one of the NFL's most tantalizing mysteries. Fans will be watching closely, anticipating whether this is just talk or a prelude to a major move in the Cowboys' future. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.